All right, hello guys. Back to another recap of mine today. I had some PC issues that I fixed all afternoon. Um, got pretty much done a couple minutes ago. So I wasn't really able to trade. I checked the charts on my phone, but I didn't take anything. I'll just briefly go over the day anyway, because a few guys of you still traded and tried to trade 10 a.m. So I'll give my input on that. But yeah, we pretty much played out exactly how I wanted it to see. I told you guys we would possibly see this week open lower and then expand higher, which is exactly what we got, right? We had a little bit of chop the first couple of days, but after we made this SMT, we had reasons to move to the upside, which we delivered pretty cleanly on the last 2 days. So yeah, I was pretty much expecting bullish price action today, and the reason for that is on the 4-hour time frame. As you can see right here, we had these stacked highs, right? I'm gonna mark them like pink so you guys can see. I'll just whatever. I'll just do buy side. And yeah, we had the same thing right here at NQ. This was previous day high right here. So those were my targets. I checked during London to try and see if we could trade up into it, but I didn't really find anything. But yeah, the reason for me being bullish right here was this gap we left open, and this gap ES traded into. And you guys can also see that we do have an SMT, whatever low you want to mark it from, right? It could be this one, could be this one. I'll just use this one, not CISD. I'll just use this one and this one, right? But you guys can see one asset traded into the gap. The other one did not. We had SMT, and this was the reason for the move higher. Even though we had like equal lows right here, we made an SMT, so there's no reason to go lower. We did form the low of the daily wick inside of a PD array, and we had it coupled with SMT, so it's valid manipulation, although not very much. And yeah, we pretty much expanded to the draw before the New York session opened, which made it pretty hard to trade New York, actually, if you tried to trade it. So the move, in my opinion, happened right here, or if you held above previous day high to look for higher time frame targets, then we straight up expanded on New York, right? So this was the framework for my drawing analysis today. I'm not sure if I mentioned it in the DMC Discord, but I wanted to see this NWalk flip to confirm as support and then move higher, which we did on the 4-hour. You can see how we held it right here. And yes, struggled a little bit, but then got the move following in Q. And we have pretty good draws up here with the equal highs. So yeah, all of you guys that pretty much took longs before the market opened today, or even in London, did pretty well. Clear draws. When the market actually opened, it was kind of tricky to get an entry. Because if you look at the difference between ES and NQ, the correlation was completely off. Like ES pretty much didn't move, and NQ just expanded. So I'll go on the 5 minute where you can see it's pretty clear. We get this move at open, ES expands up to this gap, and then retraces heavily, and the same thing on EQ right here, but we do expand way more, and we do retrace way less, right? So after seeing this displacement, I pretty much expected 10 a.m. to open lower and then just continue higher. So pretty much a trend day. And yeah, this is also what we got, right? I wasn't really on the charts, so I didn't really mark anything in between ranges, stuff like that. But I saw ES held the gap right here, and NQ retraced into this 50-minute gap right here. And if we are really bullish, you can see it use the beginning of gaps, especially the first one that formed right after market open. Could be a 5-minute, could be a 15-minute, to then just expand higher. And this is actually the trade setup that I saw that I would have taken today. And it's this 5-minute rejection block right here up to new highs, pretty much. You can see how well we tapped this one. Finding a decent stop. I mean, at the low it's 18 points, up to the high it's a 1 to 4, so it's worth the trade. It did take quite a bit to deliver, but this is like the trade I wanted to see. 10 a.m. continuation, and I think this looks pretty decent if you expected manipulation lower first and then distribution to the upside. It is a bit of a hard guess to find the right entry or the right rejection block. So it's not as easy to time it well, I would say. Because this one right here formed and we got displacement off of it, right? But it failed. So I see this one as valid too. If you took a loss on this one, that's just how it goes, right? I'm not sure if you could have taken entry triggers on the 1 minute. Yeah, you could have. So you could have mitigated your risk right here if you entered on the 1 minute rejection block right here. Stop at the low. If you didn't want to limit this, and then it would have given like a 1 to 2.4, which is not bad. This one would have probably been just a full stop for me. I would not have moved to break even up here because I would have gone for a little bit higher. There's like no swing or anything to go to break even. So either you move to break even after a certain risk to reward, or you just let the trade breathe, and it's a tight stop, so it's not a bad trade in my opinion. And the same thing right here. I would have probably looked to entry trigger somewhere. I mean, the risk was still valid, because it's just a 20-point risk for a good risk to reward, right? So first entry right here, and then stop below it. If you look to enter on the 1 minute, it wasn't really that decent to find anything. Also, you compare this lag right here with the fib, and you can see we mitigated 0.5 and pretty much used the beginning of the rejection block to move higher. If you waited for lower, that's valid. If you wanted to see OTE, I don't blame you. This would just be worth the risk to me because the stop on the 5-minute rejection block is just 18 points, which would allow me to trade 5 to 6 micros on this trade, and would net me about 80 points, which is a good. It's 1K on 5 micros. This is pretty decent. And yeah. So actually, this is the rejection block because we have this volume imbalance right here. So even better. Yeah, you can see how the trade worked. This is the only thing I saw while on phone trying to fix my PC. Other than that, pretty average day to trade to find an entry. Pretty good read on price because it was, in my opinion, it was pretty easy to read where price wanted to go today. It's a little bit unlucky we got the move right at open and then had to wait for something like this to trade higher. But yeah, this is just my opinion, my bias on the day. So if you guys took shorts today, I hope you didn't just blindly short this move up, which that would have killed you completely. I hope you at least waited for like 10 a.m. So something right here. If you really wanted to see 10 a.m. go lower, I agree you could use this and then catch shorts, which I saw some of you take, which is fine if you were bearish after this whole move. Or also right here, we didn't really tap the level, but you can see ES tapped the level. So if one of the assets goes and taps the level, you can pretty much trade the other one. So either this or maybe even this. But like I said, I wasn't bearish today, so it would have made it hard for me to look for shorts. Also, you can see the difference in delivery. If you are in sync with the market, you can get a pretty fast low resistance delivery. If you're offside, you can still get your win and your delivery, but you have to endure a lot of price action and chop, which still happened at 10 a.m. later because we just expanded 300 points on the day. So price just slowed down in probably anticipation of the Nvidia earnings that are gonna come out later today. But yeah, that's something for tomorrow to keep an eye on, and I'll give my opinions on the earnings in my channel tomorrow. I'll keep you updated and how it's gonna affect the market. But I do think this is like the anticipation before the earnings. Most people expect earnings to be really good and to beat expectations, and that's why we just had a huge move to the upside today, pretty much from where we opened little trading below 1800. We just wanted higher. But yeah, that's my take on the market today. If there's any more questions, let me know in my channel, and I'll try to get back later. I'll be active tomorrow because my PC works again, so I'll be able to trade, and I'll be able to be in chat on Discord. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the Discord or in tomorrow's recap. Bye bye.